Councillors, I'll call the meeting to order and welcome everyone. I'll go to 1.1, that's apologies for absence.
Mr Mayor, we have no apologies this evening.
Thank you. Got none, so it don't matter. We'll move on to councillor appearance via Zoom. Am I getting feedback?
Mr Mayor, we've got Councillor Jeff Whitten who appears on Zoom this evening.
He's out of town for work commitments. I need a mover and a seconder to council. Moved by Councillor Duffy, seconded by Councillor Meletta. All those in favour say raise their hands. Against, carried. So if we could get Councillor Whitten.
We'll let him in when he's in, is he? Okay.
Hello, that's better. So we in?
In? Yep.
Okay, I'll move on since we've done that one. 1.2 is live streaming and recording. This council meeting is being live streamed and recorded. By speaking at the council meeting, you agree to be live streamed and recorded. Please ensure that when you speak at this council meeting, you ensure you are respectful to others and use appropriate language at all times. Orange City Council accepts no liability for any defamatory or offensive remarks or gestures made during the course of this council meeting. A recording will be made for administration purposes. Item 1.3 is acknowledgement of country. I would like to acknowledge the Wiradjuri people who are the traditional custodians of the land. I would also like to pay respect to the elders both past and present of the Wiradjuri nation and extend that respect to other Aboriginal Australians who are present. Move on to item 1.4, which is declaration of interest. Does any councillor wish to declare any conflicts of interest in any matter for consideration for tonight's meeting? Councillor Kinghorn.
Yeah, so item 5.5, I'd like to declare a pecuniary non-significant interest at the Wentworth Golf Club redevelopment because my husband's company has done some geotechnical work for the DA.
Councillor Kinghorn. Councillor Greenhouse.
Mayor, please note that I would like to declare a pecuniary interest in item 5.5 on the agenda, the DA 437-20211 for Wentworth Golf Club at 130 Ploughman's Lane, as the Orange X Services Club is an influential account that I call on as part of my employment in the hospitality industry. They are also a major sponsor of Bloomfield Junior Rugby League Football Club, which I hold the position of Secretary and Sponsorship Coordinator, and I have been a personal family friend with their new CEO for over 20 years.
Thanks, Councillor Greenhouse. Councillor Meletta.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd like to declare a conflict of interest, non-pecuniary, non-significant. I'm a member of the Orange X Services Club and also a member of the golf club itself.
Thanks, Councillor Meletta. Anyone else? Sorry, Councillor Mallard.
Yep. Likewise, Mr Mayor, I'm a member of the Orange X Services Club, so I'll declare a non-pecuniary, less than significant interest, and I will discussion and vote.
Councillor Evans.
Mr Mayor, I'd like to declare a non-significant, non-pecuniary interest in 5.5, the development of Wentworth Golf Club. I'm a member of the Orange X Services Club, however I remain in the room. Also like to declare a significant non-pecuniary interest in item 5.1 for the committees, President of the Orange Business Chamber. So I'll remove myself from the room for that one. And then also a non-significant, non-pecuniary for a member of Biz HQ and also Orange 360, but I'll remain in the chamber for those ones. Thank you.
Councillor Peterson.
I'd like to declare a non-significant 5.5. I'm a member of the Orange.
Councillor Power.
I'd like to also declare conflict of interest in relation to, I'm also a member of the Orange X Service Club and also a member of the Orange 360.
Yes, I'd also like to declare the same interest. I'm also a member of the club concerned.
Thank you.
Anyone left to vote in that one?
I'll let the CEO chat about it.
Yeah. I think we've talked about this before, councillors. I think being a member of the club, I think councillors have got this right, doesn't preclude you from voting on this one. In terms of Orange 360, I would point out, particularly for Councillor Evans, I don't think that precludes you from running for that, the membership. I am on the board myself, and I'm a member of Orange 360. Well,
Yeah,
For clarification, thank you.
I'll declare an interest. I'm also a member of Orange 360 with my little business.
Maybe of some interest, Mr Mayor, that the Orange Ex-Services Club has over 18,000 members.
Thanks, Councillor Miletto.
Sorry.
I'll move on to item 2, which is there are no mayoral minutes. Item 3, which is confirmation of the previous meeting. Moved by Councillor Mallard, seconded by Councillor Duffy. Any comment? No comment. I'll just I'll put a matter arising while we're talking about council meeting times. As on March, first week of March, we usually have a council meeting on the Tuesday. Since there's 6 or 7 of us going to the local government conference, I wish to move that we put the meeting till on Thursday the 3rd. Seconded by Councillor Duffy. Any talk? No talk? So I'll put it to the vote. All those in favour, raise your hands. That's for the minutes as well. Thank you. Item number 4, which is no notice of motion and rescission motions, none of those. I'll move on to item to general porch, which is 5.1, which is the policy committee structure. So there are 2 options there. Option 1 is to maintain the current structure or establish a new structure. I'll move that we maintain the current structure as is printed in
Happy to
option
second
1.
that.
Seconded by Councillor Miletto. Any comment?
Mr Mayor, I'd just like to make the comment, and I know there's been a lot of discussion around this issue. Having previously chaired the Employment Economic Development Committee meeting, I found that at times there wasn't even enough time to finish the agenda in that item. I would be concerned if that was joined with another committee and they flowed into each other. Part of that reason also being that some of the people who were members of the committee had issues which were only specifically to economic development, things like that.
Yep.
I do think there is some merit in some of the smaller committees being addressed on a individual basis, but overall I agree that no changes should be made. And as it was clearly pointed out by Councillor Whitten, we're there to represent the community, and if we're going to change the structure of those committees, perhaps the community should have some sort of say in that being done before we make that decision.
We'll deal with the policy ones, and then we'll deal with the community ones after that. Yeah, I'll speak for. I'm in agreement. So I think we've got those committees. They've been working well. It gives councillors an opportunity to be part of more than just sitting as a councillor. You can be part of chairing a committee. You can learn how to chair a meeting. So I think it's great that we've got all those committees that everyone can have a bit of a say in. Any other speakers?
Mr Mayor, I would just like to back what Tony said, and I think it's very difficult for us as new councillors coming in, having not even sat on one of these meetings, to vote to change something we haven't even experienced yet. So I'm happy to support.
The speakers? I'll put. Sorry, Councillor Kinghorn.
I'm just curious that it can be changed at a later date, though. Is that right?
Through Mr Chair, yes, I would think, you would if you wanted to, you would raise a notice of motion and then go through that process with council. Yep.
Curious, thank you.
Any other speakers?
Sorry, can I just clarify? So would that stay for a 12-month period and then it's up for review, or is it something that stays for the term of this council?
Through Mr Chair, normally what you decide tonight would stay for the term of council. We haven't had a situation where you've, say, dropped a committee.
Yeah.
But you could do it, absolutely.
Clarification. Yeah. So are we going to vote for someone for 18 months on this, or just?
No, the term of the council. No other speakers. Is Councillor Whitten right? Yep.
Yep.
I'll put the raise your hands for. Against? Unanimous. I'll hand it over to the CEO to conduct the.
Can you do them? Can you do them?
Oh, sorry. We need to establish the method of voting. There's two two options there. It's open ballot, which is a show of hands, or preferential ballot. Councillors nominate their votes from one being first preference and two.
Mayor, I'll move.
I'll move a show of hands, Mr Mayor. You can hear me?
Was that the same as what you just said?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Councillor Whitten for open ballot is moved, seconded by Councillor Duffy. Speakers? No speakers. I'll put the motion, open ballot. That's how we're going to do the method of voting. All those in favour, raise your hand. Against? Unanimous. I'll hand it over to the CEO to conduct the ballots. I need to move. Sorry, I need to move in a second at the CEO. Yeah, Councillor Mallard, Councillor Peterson. All those in favour, raise your hands. Thank you. Unanimous. Your show. Better check the ballot box too.
Might find mine in there from last time, Mr Mayor. I'll have a sense of humour.
Keys. Okay, councillors, we're going to do committee by committee. I'll just look for nomination papers for the various committees, starting with Planning and Development Policy Committee, previously chaired by Councillor Jeff Whitten.
Sorry, just double checking. We can also nominate.
Absolutely. I'm just checking the box, and then from the floor, I will ask you if you wish to. I'll ask Ms Davis to open the box. You can, of course, nominate from the floor.
Thank you, Mr. CEO.
Yeah, well, we have different skills. Yeah.
We had the lock changed after last time.
Okay. Oh dear, we do have papers. Okay. So firstly, Planning and Development Committee, that is not one. Nations. We don't have any written nominations. Councillors, can I call for any nominations from yourself or of others for the Planning and Development Policy
I would,
Committee?
Mr Mayor, I'd like to nominate Councillor Whitten for the planning.
Second that.
Councillor Whitten, do you accept?
I do, Mr Mayor.
Any other nominations?
There being no other nominations, I declare Councillor Whitten the chair of the Planning and Development Policy Committee. The Employment and Economic Development Policy Committee, I actually do have a written nomination. Which was Councillor Miletto, and the form checks out. Councillor Miletto, you accept that?
I do.
So we have one nominee. Do we have any other nominees?
I'll second that, Mr Chair. CEO.
Yep. Do we have any other nominations from the floor? From the television? No. There being no other nominations, I declare Councillor Tony Miletto the chair of the Economic Development Policy Committee. We have no written Infrastructure Policy Committee nominations, so I ask from the floor, are there any nominations for the Infrastructure Policy Committee?
Yeah, I'll nominate.
Councillor Jack Evans.
I'll not second that.
Seconded by Councillor Duffy, and you obviously accept that. Do I have any other nominations for that role? There being no other nominations, I declare Councillor Jack Evans the chair of the Infrastructure Committee. Sport and Recreation, I have no nominations for that.
I'll nominate Councillor Greenhouse.
I'll second that.
So we have Councillor Tammy Greenhouse.
That.
Who accepts it, and it's been seconded. Any other nominations? There being no other nominations, I declare Councillor Tammy Greenhouse the chairperson of the Sport and Recreation Policy Committee. The next policy committee is the Environmental Sustainability Policy Committee, previously chaired by Councillor Stephen Nugent. Do I have any written nominations? I do not. Do I have any nominations from the floor?
Councillor Maylard.
Yeah, Councillor Duffy
I'll second that.
nominates. Councillor McDonald seconds. Councillor David Mallard. Do I have any other nominations? I declare Councillor David Mallard the chair of the Environmental Sustainable Policy Committee of Orange City Council. Finance Policy Committee, I have no nominations for that.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Duffy for that one, please.
Councillor Kevin Duffy is nominated by Councillor Glenn Floyd with a seconder by Jack Evans. Do you accept that, Councillor Duffy? Paul, that is dealing with the ARIC committee as well. Do I have any other nominations from the floor? Councillor Duffy, I declare you the chair of the Finance Policy Committee. Treasurer, continuing your previous good work. The last policy committee is the Services Policy Committee. Do I have any nominations written? No. And we have a nomination from Councillor Duffy for Councillor McDonald and a seconder with Councillor Mallard. Do you accept that nomination?
Yes.
Councillor McDonald does. Do we have any other nominations on the television or the floor? We do not. Councillor McDonald, I declare you the chairman of the Services Policy Committee. Wonderful. That concludes the election of the Orange City Council Policy Committees. The Mayor needs now to please get a resolution.
So I declare the policy chairs as stated. Need a resolution to accept the policy chairs as a whole. Thanks, Councillor Duffy. Councillor Miletto seconded. Raise your hands, all those in favour. Unanimous. Thank you. We'll move on to item 5.2, which is confirmation of the community framework. There are two options: is maintain the current framework which as printed, or to establish a new framework.
Move that we status quo, Mr. Chairman.
Moved by Councillor Duffy, seconded by Councillor Miletto. Any speakers?
Will that preclude the option of, as an individual committee, either changing things on an individual committee or reducing the numbers? We stay with the current framework?
Agree, Mr. Chair. Can I just ask for you mean within the committee itself reducing the numbers?
Yeah.
Okay. So if tonight, as you get to a committee, say, let's pick one, Economic Development Community Committee needs 3 councillors, including the chairperson, were you to want to make that 2 tonight, you would need to foreshadow an amendment now to the motion. Motion at the moment is status quo. An amendment would be to reduce it accordingly.
Sorry, Mr. Sir, could we do that? We're dealing with each one individually. Do you need to do that before, or could we do it while we're dealing with each individual one?
Well, this motion is the framework.
Oh, framework.
Yeah,
okay,
we could do the framework and then we do them. If you have a particular one you'd like to reduce.
No, I don't. Just the opportunity to discuss it as sort of council, which each committee comes up.
Often we find, through you, Mr. Chair, we won't get 3. We might have 2.
Councillor Miletto.
Thank you. I think that we need to have some flexibility here because there were times last year some of those committees which struggled to get a quorum. So I think that we need to consider them in Suriana, that they'd be dealt with individually.
Yep.
So
I would like to foreshadow an amendment to that.
Can I, Mr. Mayor, do a clarification? Once the committee's done, you can then change the charter to work out the quorum.
Thank you.
So we thought that one through because we had a few.
If I may, Mr. Mayor,
Councillor, are you still foreshadowing an amendment, or you're withdrawing?
No, now it's been clarified by this.
Councillor Duffy.
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to speak for the motion. Councillors, we just went through a process of integrated planning and reporting. Integrated planning and reporting is about the direction of the council and involvement of our community. And that's what all these committees do. They involve the community. I have no doubt that there will be some struggle within these committees because we've had COVID here for about 2 years. They will struggle again. But I don't have a problem with the committees when they meet. They say, hang on, this is not working, and they may need to be dissolved. Deal with that a little bit later as we come. But as I said before, these committees, these people are voluntary. They're worth $1 million to us, really, and honestly, they're genuine people that are concerned about their various aspects, whether it be environment, whether it be infrastructure, or whatever the case may be. They're absolutely gems for our community. And I think we should respect that and have some response to them to say, give them the opportunity to say, no, it's not working, or whether it be tidy towns or whatever the case may be. I think stick to it and remember in the back of your mind, integrated planning and reporting is all about the direction of your council for involving the community.
Thanks, Councillor Duffy. Councillor Whitten.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. May I know the motion? It's a bit hard to hear.
Oh, sorry, that we maintain the current framework, which is option 1.
Okay, thank you very much. Look, I speak in support of that. I believe that the CEO mentioned the charter. I think that once the committees are formed, the terms of reference of the charter can then be decided on the number of quorum in those, or even whether the community members and representatives believe that those community policy committees are actually adding value to council, and that decision has been made by the volunteers at the time that the charter or terms of reference are being decided. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any other speakers?
I just get a point of clarification.
Sure.
The number of councillors that are listed here, that's the minimum number at this stage? So if more than, say for the economic development, if that one says or more, say the health liaison, say there were 4 councillors that wanted to be on there.
No, we're after 3.
Okay, thank you.
I'll go through the methodology. In fact, I'll do that now. The methodology I'm proposing is that I'll look at the paperwork, look for any nominations. I will then call for nominations from the floor. And if I have 3, I'll just declare it. But if I have 4, we'll go to the lot, if that suits.
So just a clarification, Mr. CEO. So you can still attend any of those meetings,
Correct.
though?
You can attend.
As a councillor, you can attend any meeting you'd like to.
But you won't have voting rights.
And have voting rights. Okay, so any other speakers?
Mr. Mayor, I think
my intention's that I'm going to try to go to every, for the first meeting, I'm going to try and go to every community committee just to say good day and welcome everyone, obviously, because as Councillor Duffy said, these people are giving up their time and, they have a real interest in our community. So, I think, that's my intention to, as I mightn't go on all committees, most committees, I'm going to try and get to every, first bit anyway, every committee. That's what I hope anyway. I'll put the vote that we stay with the current framework. All those in favour, raise your hand. And that's unanimous. So I'll hand it over. I need a resolution for you to do that, Mr. C.
Move it.
Move, thanks, Councillor Duffy. Seconded, Councillor Greenhalgh. All those in favour, raise your hands. Unanimous. Thank you. Thanks, Mr. CEO.
Thank you. Okay, here we go. This is asking for nominations, paperwork, then a show of hands. We'll see where we stand. If we have too many, we'll go to the box. Economic Development Community Committee. We've got a written nomination from Councillor Tony Miletto, so that's number 1 is in. Do I have any other?
Mr. CEO, I'll nominate to go on the committee, but not to chair.
Okay.
That makes sense, yeah.
Same.
Councillor Kinghorn. Any other nominations? Donald and Councillor Greenhalgh. Okay, well, let's see who we've got, and then anyone else? Is that a scratch or a nomination, Councillor Whitten?
It's a scratch, Mr. CEO.
Clarification.
I thought he voted to want to go on.
What's the nomination for? Because the acoustics are really bad. I apologise.
It's Economic Development Community Committee.
Okay.
So we're putting all 5 into the box and then drawing out 3.
So, Mr. CEO, sorry, if Councillor McDonald and Greenhouse have no hesitation of chairing, does that mean Councillor Miletto's elected as chair straight away?
No, I think we've got 5 nominations.
Oh, right, okay.
We need 3. Yep.
Just to clarify though, in that page 37, it says 3 or more.
I'm staring at a different page. Can you help me here?
The minutes.
Hang on.
37.
Here we go. Thank you. Thank you. Let's slow down. Thank you for that clarification. I'm staring at a bit of paper that doesn't have that. I'm now going to stare at a good bit of paper.
Councillor Duffy.
Okay. We have 5 and we will take all 5. So the process now is to
elect the chair.
Maybe ask Councillor Duffy.
I nominate Councillor Miletto as chair.
I'll second that.
They
He already is the chair. He got elected as a policy chair. He already is the chair.
No, one does not follow from the other.
It was just a stutter from the business paper.
So we have a mover for Councillor Miletto and a seconder for Councillor Miletto. Any other chair nominations? So then we can vote on that. No, I declare Councillor Miletto the chair of the committee and Councillors Miletto, Evans, Kinghorn, McDonald, Greenhouse as the council reps.
Yep.
Next committee is the Orange Health Liaison Committee, which needs 3 councillors only, or less.
Nominate Councillor Peterson.
Sorry. We have no written thing. Sorry, Councillor.
Nominate Councillor Peterson and Councillor McDonald.
Who, Councillor?
And I'd like to nominate for that too, please.
Nominate yourself. So we've got 3, and you'll obviously all accept those nominations. 3. Any others? Any others?
No, I'm just saying that's perfect.
Councillor McDonald, Councillor Peterson and Councillor Kinghorn are the councillors of the Orange Health Liaison Community Committee. Now we need a chairperson.
Can I nominate Councillor Peterson?
Peterson? Any other nominations for Councillor?
I'll second that.
Seconder, so you'll accept it? I declare Councillor Peterson the chairperson of the Orange Health Liaison Community Committee. Right. Sister Cities requires 2, I presume.
You nominate for that.
Mr. CEO, I'll nominate myself for that as well. I just want to talk.
Mayor has nominated himself. Councillor Duffy. Well, anyone else? I declare those 2 then the members. Do we need a chair as well? No, a community member is the chair of that. Yep. Do you want to say something?
Can be either.
I just want to, just a matter arising out of that. I know we've spoken about sister cities, but I actually received an email from the Consul General of Japan this afternoon, congratulating all councillors on their election and all that sort of thing, and they were saying they couldn't wait to get the sister city relationship going again with the school students and all that. So it's just ironic that it came this afternoon. So I just wanted to mention that to councillors. That's all.
Chairman, can I just clarify what you're talking about there? It can be either, can be a community member or a councillor.
Correct, but it's not elected tonight. Yeah.
No.
Committee decided.
Yeah. Right, next committee is the Audit and Risk Management.
That's
I
myself.
think it's the Audit and Risk Improvement Management Committee. Councillor Duffy's nominated himself, and Councillor Peterson's interested.
A seconding Councillor Duffy.
Yep, okay.
I wouldn't mind being on that one too.
Yep, sure. Councillor Kinghorn. What are we after? We're after +1. So we've got the mayor +1, but we've got 2.
As long as I can go to the meetings, I'll cope.
Okay.
Could we have an alternate, like the mayor and a councillor and an alternate?
Well,
they can't be a voting member. Only the mayor and the +1 can be a voting member.
So traditionally, which means nothing, we've had the mayor and well, no, you have to have the mayor. We've had the finance chair on it. All right. Well, I declare the mayor and Councillor Duffy to be councillor members of that committee, and note Councillor Kinghorn's interest. Thank you.
You'll speak. I can't vote, is that right?
At the meeting? I think so. And
We'll let you speak.
And they would let you for sure. Next committee is Spring Hill. This requires 2 or more. So all of you could sit on this. They meet quarterly. Do I have any nominations? Now, I've got a written one from Councillor Tony Miletto.
Second that.
Anyone else would like to be on this?
Chair, I'll nominate.
So Councillor Evans,
I would quite like to do that too.
Kinghorn and Councillor Miletto. All get a Guernsey.
Yep.
That is the Spring Hill Council members. Now we need to vote a chairperson. Any nominations for chairperson out of those 3 councillors?
I'll second that.
No, I declare Councillor Miletto the chair of the Spring Hill Community Committee. Carrying on his good work.
Good work or chairman?
The chair. Both.
Work hand in hand, don't they?
Lucknow Community Committee.
I'd like to nominate for that one.
Councillor Donald, and we're after 2 or more again.
I'd like to nominate
Mr. CEO. Beat you to it.
Evans.
I'm just being told something.
Second both them.
Can you just park that? No, leave it there. Sorry, just leave it there. With your
There's a handbrake
indulgence, we don't go away too much. Councillors, with your indulgence, can I just clarify that? Thank you, Ms. Daly. This is for Aric, one alternate councillor delegate who will have voting rights in absence of the
That's
other
what I was saying,
appointed
an alternate.
councillor. Stand corrected, so that is what you now are.
So if Councillor Duffy can't make it, Councillor Kinghorn takes his place with voting rights.
With full voting rights. Yes. Lee, thanks. Okay, back to Lucknow. We have... Anyone else? Councillor Evans. Anyone else? Both accepting the position. Both are on. We need a chairperson.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Evans.
I'll second that.
Got? Yeah, and graciously seated and accepted. Yeah. Community Committee. We need 2 or more, so all of you again could sit. Do I have anyone who would like to nominate for that? Clifton Grove, anyone interested? Councillor Peterson's in.
I'm happy to do that as well.
Councillor Kinghorn. 2 councillors, both who are on. Would either councillor like to nominate, or anyone like to nominate a councillor for?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'll nominate Councillor Kinghorn as chair.
Kinghorn, got a
Second that.
seconder? Seconder, would you accept that? Councillor Peterson, you nominate? You happy with that?
Very
So
happy.
Councillor Kinghorn is chair of Clifton Grove. Ageing and Access Community
Nominate
Committee.
Councillor McDonald.
A nomination would
Yes.
Second.
second up. Any other nominations?
Councillor Peterson.
Councillor Peterson with a second, and Councillor Kinghorn. Evans. Got 3 candidates. And we're after 3. Any more? Done. We need chair. Nominations for chair of the Ageing and Access. Councillor Peterson nominated by
I'll second that.
Winter. Back here. Peterson, the chair of the Ageing and Access Committee. Cultural Heritage Committee, 3, including the chairperson, meeting quarterly. Any nominations for the Cultural Heritage?
Second that.
Seconders, any other? Mallard's nominating. One more, we can fit one more. Relates closely to planning and development, arguably. Not really.
Witten.
Councillor Witten, you interested in the Cultural Heritage Committee, Councillor Witten? You've been nominated.
Have I?
Yeah. Are you interested at all?
Seconded.
You've been seconded even.
I would be delighted to be involved in the cultural heritage.
I declare then the three members are Councillor Power, Councillor Mallard, Councillor Witten. We need a chairperson. Anyone burning desire? Councillor Power with a seconder. I declare Councillor Power the chairperson of the Cultural Heritage Committee. Congratulations. Safety and crime prevention, I
Nominate
believe.
Councillor Witten.
Well, I've got a written nomination of Councillor Tony Miletto, who accepts that. We had who?
Councillor Witten.
Councillor Witten.
Mr. CEO, I'd like to nominate myself for that.
We've got seconders for Councillor Witten and the Mayor, please. Yes, over here. And Councillor Witten, would you be accepting a nomination for the Community Safety and Crime Prevention Committee?
Is this the old saying, Mr. CEO, if you're not at a meeting proper, you get all the action? I'd be delighted to be involved in
That
the
committee as well.
Okay.
That
And we've
is
also
something of
got
interest.
Councillor Greenhouse who's nominating. So now we have 4. How many want? 3 only?
Okay, if
3 including the chairperson. So we have
I'll withdraw. Like I'd rather see people do it. I can still go to that meeting, even though I was chair for the last few years. I can still go to that.
Maybe you can still chair it.
Yes, I declare Councillor Miletto, Councillor Witten and Councillor Greenhouse the committee members, and we now need to elect a chair. Do I have a
I
nomination?
nominate Councillor Greenhouse.
Second that.
With a seconder. Yep. Any other nominations?
I'll nominate Councillor Miletto.
Councillor Miletto.
And I'll second that.
Chair.
I'm happy to chair the
Councillor Miletto.
sport, but
Any other one?
They're doing nothing.
Well, how about I declare Miletto, Chair of the Community Safety and Crime Protection. Yep. Okay. Next one is the NAIDOC week. Does 3 mean 3 exactly? But no chair tonight. Community member is chair. Okay. Any nominations for the NAIDOC week Community Committee? Councillor Power with a seconder. Councillor Peterson nominating yourself.
No seconding. Gerald.
Seconding, yep.
Nominate myself, Mr. Mayor,
Councillor
Chair.
the Mayor.
I'll second that.
Room for one. Councillor Mallard. Okay. And the seconder, yep. Got 3. Closing the books. Councillor Power, Hamling and Mallard are the members. Congratulations. Regional Museum Community Committee. We are after 2 maximum, including the chairperson. Any nominations for the Museum Committee? Peterson with a seconder. Any other nominations? I declare Councillor Peterson the... Oh, sorry, Councillor Power.
My head, I had to go through, and I thought that's the one. Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
okay.
Thank you very much.
And Councillor Power. So to you both.
Yep.
Seconder there. So that's the 2 councillor reps, and we need a chairperson. Councillor Power's pointing at you, Councillor Peterson.
Well, Stephen.
Councillor Peterson is the
Peterson.
chair.
Yeah.
One, you might get to see something built under your watch, the Orange Conservatorium and Planetarium Committee. How many are you after?
3 for that.
3. Councillor McDonnell,
Mr. Chair, I'd like to nominate Councillor Floyd.
Councillor Floyd and Councillor Duffy's got his hand up.
Yes.
Seconders for all of them?
Yep.
No, he nominated. We've got 3 councillors.
Yep.
And therefore I declare those 3 councillors, Donald, Floyd and Duffy, the councillors. We need a chair between the 3.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Duffy for chair.
I'll second that.
And a seconder here. Okay, Councillor Duffy, I declare Councillor Duffy the Planetarium Conservatorium chair.
He's tone deaf. He's got the conservative.
Floodplain Management Committee, a highly technical committee. We need 2, including a councillor as chair.
Yeah, I'd
Any
like to nominate
nominations?
myself for that one.
Floyd, seconded.
I'll second that.
Any other nominees?
I'll nominate myself as well.
And Councillor Evans, seconded for sure somewhere. And we need any others? Declare those two councillors the
Councillor
members,
Floyd.
and we need a chairperson. I'm
Councillor
hearing
Floyd.
Councillor Floyd
Second.
nominated, seconded by Councillor Evans, which implies that
Thought he must
Councillor
have made an
Floyd is
apology,
the
haven't heard
chair.
from him.
Councillor Floyd is chair. Councillor Floyd. Orange Cabon Road Safety.
I'll nominate myself for that one.
I'll second that.
Duffy, seconded. Any other nominations? We're after two.
Mr Chair, I'll go on that one.
Yep. Got it.
I'll second that.
Don't need a chair. Congratulations, councillors. Orange Airport, we need 3 or more. All of you can join this committee.
To nominate Councillor Evans.
I'll second that.
Evans
I'd like to nominate for that too, Mr. CEO.
I'll second that.
with a seconder.
I wouldn't mind doing that too. Yeah, thanks.
Vaughan with a seconder.
Yeah, I'll second.
Yeah, we're good. Good. Councillor Whitten, you're not interested in the airport committee? Not
How
at
many
this.
do you have, Mr. CEO?
We've got the 3 we need, but more welcome if you want to.
I spent a long time in the airline industry.
Come on, Councillor Whitten.
I'll put my name down, Mr. Chair.
I declare the councillors that Councillor Evans, Greenhouse, Whitten and Kinghorn, with a chair now to be selected from those 4. Would anyone like to nominate for chair?
I'd like to nominate Councillor Evans.
Evans for chair, with a seconder somewhere
Yep.
over here. Anyone else want to nominate? I declare Councillor Evans the
Sorry.
chair. This is a big committee, the Sport and Rec Committee, including the recently formed bicycling
I'll
subcommittee.
nominate Councillor Greenhouse.
Nominate Councillor Floyd.
And we need 3,
Oh,
including
can I-
the chair. And Councillor McDonald,
I'll second that.
seconder, that's 3.
Nominate Councillor Greenhouse, chairperson.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we've got 3 councillors, and we're now going for a chair. We've got a nomination you accept as chair. Councillor Greenhouse, chair. 6 to go. Orange Showground Committee, 3 including a chair. Any nominations? None in the box.
I'm happy to sit on that committee.
Yeah, with a seconder.
I'll second that.
Happy to go on that.
Councillor Duffy, second.
Do it, the third one, that's fine.
Remembering that's the management of the whole showground, not just the show itself. Now we're after a chair.
I'll nominate Councillor Duffy.
Councillor Duffy nominated. Accept that? Yep. Accepted. Congratulations, Councillor
I'm excited. Thank you.
Kin. G'day Committee. 2 required only and no chair tonight. Councillor Power.
I'll second that.
seconder? Anyone else want to
Yeah.
nominate?
I'm happy to sit on that committee.
Okay. Yep. 2. Books are closed. Congratulations. Companion Animals Committee. We're needing 2, including the chairperson. Any nomination?
Don't look at me, I take
Companion
them to
animals.
Salios.
So, Councillor Mallard, thank you.
I'll second.
The seconder. 1's enough. 1's enough.
Any other councillors?
No, I declare you the sole member and chair.
We need a second one, because if we need a second one, I can do that as well. If we need a second one.
Technically,
Technically, right.
Well, actually, Mr. Hodges, do you need to? Prefer to?
I'll go
Or
second.
would you prefer to?
I'll second
I'll
that.
go 2.
Okay, Councillor Hamling, the Mayor is second.
Love dogs.
Yeah, okay. You didn't want to be chair, did you?
It's a cats too.
Oh, there's cats as well.
Very large committee, the Environmental Sustainability Committee. We need 2 or more, including the chairperson.
I'd like to nominate.
Nominate Councillor Mallard and
Mallard,
Second them both.
McDonald, both with seconders. Anyone else?
It's fun.
Okay, it's so you are the 2 members. Now, between you, we need a chair.
I'll nominate Councillor Mallard.
Seconder there.
know it's futile.
If you don't want to do it, I'll do it.
Okay. You'll accept that? Yeah. So congratulations, you're chair of the Parks, Trees, Waterways, including Botanic Gardens.
I'll nominate for that one too, please.
2 or more. Councillor McDonnell. Anyone
I'll
else?
second that.
Was that a seconder or nomination?
I'll happily second that. I'll
Yep.
nominate myself.
And nomination as well. And closing the books, you are the 2 members. Now we need a chair.
Oh yeah, since I'll take that one. I'll nominate myself if.
Okay, we've got a nomination.
Yeah.
Councillor McDonald. Tidy Towns, we need 3, including the chairperson. And
I'll nominate myself, just knowing full well we've got one of the best employees of the lot running that.
Roger Smith. Second of Councillor Duffy. Anyone else like to be on the Tidy Towns?
Bit on that there, please.
I'll second.
Power, seconded.
I nominate Councillor Floyd.
I'll second.
Floyd, with a seconder.
I'll second that.
And we require a chair.
Yeah.
I'll
Chair,
nominate Councillor Floyd.
Yeah,
Second that.
Councillor Floyd. In that nomination?
No, I was actually going to nominate Councillor Duffy. So
Okay, he's not accepting?
I'll nonchalantly decline that. Thank you.
Okay. And Councillor Duffy's got a seconder with Councillor Evans there, so congratulations, Councillor Duffy.
I have a motion to move all those. Congratulations, everyone, too. Everyone's having a go at most committees, which is fantastic. I'll nominate. I'm just going to move that resolution for adoption. Councillor Mallard, you've moved it. Seconded by Councillor Power. Show of hands for all those in favour. That's unanimous. We'll move on to the recommendation for outside committees. Is that right?
3, we're doing number 3.
Sorry.
Seek expressions of interest.
Speaking, I've lost my piece of paper here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm dealing with recommendation 3, which seek expression of interest from community members and relevant agencies, organisations to join a community committee. Can I have a mover to seek? Thanks, Councillor Mallard. Seconder, Councillor Evans. And I'd just like to put on the record saying I encourage community members to put their hand up. You can have a say in council, have a say in what direction we go in. All committees obviously come back to council, but it's a good way to be involved. And if you've got something to say, instead of going it on Facebook or social media, come on a committee and have your input into where we're going as a community. Any other speakers? No. Oh,
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to encourage the younger demographic of our town to really get involved in these committees. I've been a member of Economic Development Committee for about 1.5 years and I found great value in it. So I'd encourage any young people out there that want to make a change in their day-to-day life and, like you said, get off the Facebook and Instagram, then I think it's a worthwhile adventure.
Councillor Evans, any other speakers? No other speakers. I'll put the motion. Raise your hands. In favour? Against? Unanimous. So we'll deal with recommendation 4, and that is representation on the external bodies. Yes, please. Can I have a move that the CEO deal with the nomination? Thanks, Councillor Duffy. Councillor Kinghorn. All those in favour, raise your hand. Thank you. Unanimous. I'll hand it over to you, Mr. CEO.
Thank you. Councillors, we're not doing any chairs of these tonight, apart from the Traffic Committee, by the way. So, on that note, start with the City of Orange Traffic Committee, which requires one councillor chairperson and one councillor alternate.
I'll nominate.
For you? Okay, yep. And second?
I'll second that.
Other nomination?
Got a nomination written.
Oh, sorry, yep, I knew that. No way I would have missed that. Leto's got a written nomination.
And I have a question.
Yep.
So with these external ones, you can still go to the meetings?
You can go as observer status. Correct me if I'm wrong, any direct. I mean, things like the Association of Mining-Related Councillors, they tend to be off-site. So, they might be in Mudgee or...
Oh, no, this is the City of Orange.
So Duffy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want a clarification from you, Mr. General Manager. This is the Community Traffic Committee, which is run by the state government, virtually, and we have usually the mayor, or it's nominated by the state government. We have 4 representatives, and they turned down all the other community representatives who wanted to be on this. I think it's very important that we have someone that's got experience on this, because these fellas run over you a little bit.
Well, Councillor Miletto is nominated.
Mr. Greenham to comment about the
I
makeup
don't get
of
run
the
over.
makeup of
That.
Running over me.
Committee,
The traffic committee itself.
beautiful one.
Yeah, it is. It's an excellent committee. It's still a council-run committee. It's not actually run by the state, but it does involve state government departments. So we have a representative from Transport for New South Wales. We also have representatives from New South Wales Police. There's only one councillor is allowed voting rights on that committee. That can be, and that is the nominated chair of that committee. It doesn't necessarily have to be the mayor, and wasn't the mayor in the last term. It
was Councillor Turner, wasn't it?
Councillor Turner, yeah.
with alternate.
Yes, with an alternate.
Clarification: the alternate only votes in the absence
of the chair.
Okay.
Yeah. Nominate Councillor Miletto as chair.
Second that.
We've got 2 nominations for chair.
No. I'm happy to be on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
that was just a little comment
Happy to be
about
the-
you don't.
Happy to
run
be the
over me.
alternate.
happy to be the
I'm
alternate.
happy to be this.
Okay, right. That settles that. Thank you, councillors. Councillor Miletto is the council chairperson of the Orange City Traffic Committee, and Councillor McDonald is the councillor alternate, and you can serve. The Orange Rail Action Group is seeking interested councillors by the look of it.
Councillor Evans.
Second that.
Evans, one.
Yeah, actually,
I'm happy to nominate that one too.
I like that. So, well done. Those 3 are on that. The next one is the Joint Regional Planning Panel.
Nominate the chair of planning, Mr. Chairman, which is normally the representative on that, Councillor Whitten.
Councillor Whitten, do you accept that nomination to go on the Joint Regional Planning Panel, which you've been on before?
Did you say, do I accept the JRPP, Mr.
Yeah, yep.
I do, thank you.
We have a seconder for that. We do, Councillor Evans. So we need 2 councillor reps. Any others?
I'll be an alternative.
Well, you're not an alternative. You're actually...
You're on it.
I'll go on it. Yep.
Only had one.
We'll have Councillor Whitten as the primary, Councillor Duffy as the secondary.
He's reserve.
Yeah, or...
Mr. CEO, through you, Mr. Mayor, sorry, to the
Yes.
CEO.
Yes, Councillor Whitten.
My understanding that number 2 is a private person, is that correct?
Yeah, I've mental blank. We have a community representative we go out for expressions of interest to. Mr. Alan Reneke, who used to work here as chief planner, was selected by council to be that rep. Then there is a primary council law, which is now Councillor Whitten. If Councillor Whitten can't make it, Councillor Duffy will step in.
That's the way it works.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So thank you for those. Any other nominees? Everyone okay with that? Thank you. The BizHQ Business Enterprise Centre, we're seeking 1 councillor member. Do I have any nominations?
Evans.
So Evans, are you...
Reluctantly declared, Mr. Chair. I've got enough one, thank you.
Any other councillors?
I'd like to nominate Councillor Power.
I'll second
Councillor
that.
Power?
I actually was thinking, So,
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
I'd like to.
Yep. Power, and we had a second. Okay, thank you, Councillor Power. The Association of Mining-Related
I'll
Councillors.
nominate myself for that, Mr. Chairman.
So the Mayor, plus Councillor Duffy. Any other councillors?
I'll stick my hand up for that as an alternate, Mr. CEO.
Okay. I don't think there is an alternate.
Oh, so there's only 1 councillor?
It's Mayor plus 1.
Okay, sorry, my mistake. Carry on, please.
It does say the mayor could have a nominee. Council has traditionally two members, one the mayor or his nominee and another councillor.
Well, I'll nominate Councillor Whitten as my...
Can I just explain that a little bit there?
Yep.
Because I've been on it before and it's very important. That's what normally happened previously before. The mayor was the person, the two other councillors went and they went in his...
Oh, okay.
What Councillor Hamling's done is right. He said, we've been nominated, but if he wants to go, he can go.
Okay, so then it's the three councillors are meant get an honourable mention. Okay, thank you. Everyone okay with that? Yep. Orange Business Chamber. Councillor Evans, having declared an interest, is now leaving the room with the assistance of the CFO.
I'll nominate Councillor Kinghorn.
Second that.
Councillor Kinghorn, did I hear? Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
And anyone else? What are we doing? We're doing one.
One.
Councillor Kinghorn, congratulations. Thank you. The next one is Orange 360, also known as our TDO, Tourist Destination.
I nominate Councillor Whitten.
So
You could hang on. We'll wait for Councillor Evans to come back.
Councillor Evans back.
Yep.
No, he's not. He can run if he wanted to. Councillor Evans returning. We have the CEO, the Mayor, and so far Councillor Whitten nominated.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Evans. for
Councillor
that.
Evans is now nominated. Seconder?
I'll second that.
360. We've got a seconder. So we've got seconders. So at the moment we've got CEO, the Mayor, Councillor Whitten and Councillor Evans. Any other nominations? Councillor Power would be our first out of the hat.
For that one
And
too.
Councillor McDonald. Other nominations. Okay, we'll now write 4 on bits of paper. Draw them from the box. Screw them up.
Keep going with the other two while they're writing up the paper.
Sorry?
Going with the other two while we're writing up the paper.
That would defeat process. And you know us.
Mr. CEO, may I, through the mayor's gone, has he? I can't see.
Yep. Sorry.
It might be worth mentioning that this position is a directorship under ASIC.
An unpaid directorship under ASIC.
Yeah, unpaid directorship.
Yep.
Registered with ASIC.
I mean, I guess what Councillor Whitten's saying is it's a pretty serious role requiring all the responsibilities of a board. So the first one we draw out, I'll give him a bit of a shake and ask, winner out, and hand it to me. So the councillor rep is Councillor Power on Orange 360. Put that back in. Yeah. And Councillor Power, we are meeting next Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock. I'll be in touch. The next one is the Central New South Wales Joint Organisation. That's a meeting the Mayor goes to with me, and an alternate is required. Do I have a nomination?
As the alternative.
As the alternate? You're nominating yourself? Yep. Seconder?
Yep, seconded.
Any other interested parties? Councillor Whitten, therefore, being the alternate for the JO. Thank you.
Councillor
Councillor Duffy. What did I say?
Whitten.
There you go. Orange Regional Arts Foundation. We're after one councillor member, please. Councillor McDonald. The other nominee. Any seconder? Seconder? Congratulations. Now, this Mayor might wish to say something. The final one we're doing tonight is the board of the Ronald McDonald House, and we're after one councillor.
I'll just be nominating myself because I've been on the board of that organisation since day dot. So I'm quite keen to go back on that, keep my relationship going. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll second that.
You sure? Okay.
Hold on. Sorry, Mr. Mayor. Sorry. One has just popped up. We're after one councillor, which would go on the Civic Risk Members Assembly. Could I ask the CFO to just explain this one?
Civic Risk Members, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, well, fortunately we've got...
Yeah, I'm happy to go on it.
Finance, isn't it?
Oh, hold on, this is an
You didn't
insurance...
pass the ASIC test.
Mask off when you speak.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Thanks.
Civic Risk Mutual is our insurer. It's a mutual of 24 councils. It's run by the members for the members. So once or twice a year, the members' assembly meets, and it's usually at least one councillor and the GM come along as the reps for Orange City Council. I usually step in as an alternate for the CEO from the staff side, and then we need one councillor to come along to the members' assembly.
I'll nominate Councillor Duffy since he's
We went
finance.
Parramatta last time, didn't we?
We've got a nomination of Councillor Duffy to take that role.
I'll second that.
Seconded, and Councillor Duffy. Thank you, Councillor. Through your indulgence, you've got to move that. Yep.
I'll need a resolution to confirm the councillors for the external agency. Moved by Councillor McDonald, seconded by Councillor Greenhouse. Can all those in favour raise your hands? Unanimous. Thank you, councillors. We'll move back on to item 5.4, which is the quarterly budget review. Sorry, 5.3, quarterly, a statement of investment, 5.3. Can I have a mover and a second?
I'll move the recommendation, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor Whitten, seconded by Councillor Meadow. Anyone want to talk on that? No? Can I have a raise of hands, please? For? Against? Unanimous. 5.4 is the quarterly budget review and progress report.
Move it, Mr. Chairman.
By Councillor Duffy. I have a seconder, please. Seconded by Councillor McDonald. Any speakers? No speakers. I'll put the motion, or raise your hands. For? Against? Carried. I'll move on to item 5.5, which is the development app. We've got people leaving the room. We'll just wait till we go. I'll have it noted that Councillor Greenhouse and Councillor Kinghorn are both leaving the room for this this development application of Wentworth Golf Club.
I'll move the instrument of approval, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor Whitten. I'll second. I second. Councillor Evans will second it. Have I got any speakers? I'll speak for it. I think this is fantastic. I think a development like this, especially up in that area, I think it'll do very well. I know the Services Club will know how to do it, and speaking to some golfers, they're a bit sick of drinking in a tin shed, having a quiet refreshment after a hot day's golf. So I think this is fantastic, and great work, Orange Services Club.
Yeah, I'd like to support the application too, but one of the things I want us to be mindful of is the footpaths and those type of things there, which I would assume, Mr. Hearing, that we will address while we're doing the Southern Feeder Road in that section. There was a bit of a kerfuffle some time ago about the footpath that should have been there and the work that was done. So I think we need to keep an eye on that. I think it's a great thing.
Ian, Mr. Greenham has given a thumbs up, so that's fine. Any other speakers? Councillor Miletto.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Look, I would just like to pay credit to the Orange X Services Club, their representatives, and also Orange City Council. What impresses me about this development application is not only the scope of the design, but the fact that there has been no objectors to it, which I think is a credit to all the people involved. I can't recall during my time on council where we've had a build of this significance where it's been so streamlined and not having objectives to it. So I think that is a combination of professionalism and good work shown by all parties and those willing to work with each other.
Thanks, Councillor Miletto. Councillor Evans. Also, Councillor Floyd.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I went through this extensively last night, and the only thing that stood out for me was just in relation to the lighting up there being a new facility. and not knowing the general layout of that area, I know it was mentioned that the particular development would impact, I think, zero on the locals in that local residents. I think they were more than 100 metres away. However, I was just thinking the only drawback I could see was just to make sure that we had the lighting right up there, because it did have the potential, being a new building with new lights and everything all nice and shiny, is to maybe impact on some of those higher built houses up in that particular area. Outside of that, it's an excellent venture.
Mr. Hodges, could you answer that?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and through you to the council. Is condition 38 is our standard condition. It goes on about lighting. So there's an Australian standard that requires the shielding and light levels. So that's how we'll manage that, and it's for the during the operation of the development. So it'll last for that condition.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Any other speakers? No other speakers. Motion 4, could you raise your hand, please? Against? It's unanimous. Could I have the other 2 councillors back in the room, please?
Yeah, while those 2 come back in the room, can I, before we move on to the next one, Director, give us a layman's...
Yeah, I'll just get it moved in that first. Thanks, Councillor Duffy. Item 5.6, can I have a mover and a seconder, please? And then we'll have an explanation from the Director. Happy to move it?
I'm happy to move it, but I'll soon withdraw if it's not...
Yeah, no worries, that's fine. Can I have a seconder, please?
I'll second it, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor Whitten. Mr. Greenham, do you want to give a bit of an overview of what we've got in front of us, please?
Thank you, Councillor Duffy, and if you will indulge me, I'd like to, there was just a typo in the recommendation. Point 2 should refer to table 2 rather than table 1. If someone could move an amendment, that would be appreciated after I've finished, to clear that little anomaly up. What we've got in front of us there is to support the Transport for New South Wales submission proposal for the reclassification of the following roads. Forbes Road from the Northern Distributor to Molong Road from state to local. Burrendong Way from the Northern Distributor Road to Molong Road, state to local. And Mitchell Highway from Northern Distributor Road, Southern Connection to Northern Distributor Road, Northern Connection, state to regional. And there's and that's on the back of state considering the takeover of the Northern Distributor Road. So we're a net winner out of that approach. And there's a map there that shows the Northern Distributor Road in pink, shows the Molong Road in orange, Burrendong Way in blue, and Forbes Road or Escort Way in green. They're the sections that would become local and sections that will become regional through there. So we get that large section of the Northern Distributor Road gets transferred to Transport for New South Wales as a state road. We've got 3 general classifications of roads. They're either local, which is the total responsibility of council, or regional, which is a shared responsibility. We get some support from state for those, or they're a state road and they become the full responsibility of state. We, as council, we still do work on state roads from time to time under an agreement with Transport for New South Wales, where we're fully reimbursed for those costs. So this is a great thing for council. So it's a 2-part thing. One's it's endorsing the Transport for New South Wales submission, which generally when they do take on a local road as a state road or a regional road going to state road, they also hand back a certain amount of roads to the care and control of council. So this will allow us to have more say over what happens in Summer Street. We do already look after the parking lanes in any of those state roads that run through towns. So the parking lanes through Lucknow on the Mitchell Highway are council's responsibility. The travel lanes on the Mitchell Highway through Lucknow are the state's responsibility. So, as well as that, we have Table 2, which includes a number of roads that we're proposing to go from local roads to regional roads, and that's the Southern Feeder Road, a number of sections on the Southern Feeder Road, including a link back up to Woodward Street, reclassify from a local road to a regional road. Clergate Road for its entire length within the LGA boundary. It's a significant road servicing quite a number of industrial premises through there, as well as residential, but it is a major industrial link now. We've got funding under Heavy Vehicle Safety and Productivity Program for some of its upgrade, and also assist us if it was a regional road as well, or recognised as its regional significance. And Huntley Road through to, and Aerodrome Road through to the airport. It's a regionally significant airport, and as such, the road servicing it, we believe, should also be a regional road.
That's question two. In layman's term, the pink is going to the state government.
Yes.
Pink is going to the late government. The blue and the green is coming back to us. And the other ones down there, which is really good news as well, is that the regional roads. Okay.
Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to clarify, so if when the state takes over the NDR, how will that impact on the report that was presented to the previous council regarding a roundabout going North Orange to Lopia Way? How will that affect council's ability to? Will we then need to lobby the state to do something about that, or is that something we have a little bit of control over?
We still have some control. We're a significant stakeholder. We have our own local roads that feed into there. The ultimate decision still rests with the state government, but similar to how the Southern Feeder Road connects in with the Mitchell Highway to the south, we get what's called a works authorisation deed, and we can upgrade that intersection under that works authorisation deed with the blessing of Transport for New South Wales. They'll set certain conditions and quality standards that they require for it, and the state were a significant contributor, as well as the federal government, to the upgrade of the Southern Feeder Road. So that section of Dairy Creek Road and Blouse Road, the Southern Feeder Road, including the intersection with the Mitchell Highway, was funded from all three tiers of government.
I'll just speak from the chair. I think this is fantastic. We've been lobbying state government to take over the Northern Distributor for a fair while, and you know those other roads that are going from local road to regional road will give us more chances of getting more funding. Correct, Mr. Greenham?
That's correct.
Yeah, and more funding means we can do more with those roads. So I think this is great, and it's something we've been pushing for a number of years for the state to take over the Northern Distributor. As we know, it does take a lot of...
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor. Just Mr. Whitten would like to say something when you're ready.
You can wait till I'm finished. So I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, so obviously everyone knows that does take a lot of highway traffic. It took a lot out of Summer Street, which everyone was after, and that's what it's been used for. So I think the state should have full control over that road. Councillor Duffy. Sorry, Councillor Whitten, you're next.
As a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Sorry?
As a member of the motion, I'd like to speak for it.
You've already put it and voted.
I haven't spoken. I asked clarification, Councillor Whitten.
Okay, Councillor Duffy, let's speak.
Mayor, I think as yourself and as Councillor Miletto and Councillor Whitten would know, at the last council term, we've absolutely busted our poor valve to get the state government to take over this section of road. I think it's something like 10,000 vehicles a day go along that road there, and a lot of them are trucks. And I go along there, 3 or 4 times a day, and it's absolutely massive what happens. There's been a few instances with regards to the camber of the roads with the trucks, but I think it's absolutely fantastic and long overdue. And I know that Councillor Taylor previously was one, and the previous mayor was totally for this. And I would like to thank the previous mayor for his efforts in getting some input into this happening as well. But the big news is for us is the availability of funding for those other roads, which become regional roads. Yep. It allows you to get more funding for there. Because, I mean, give you an example of Blurgate Road. You know, you've got Cabon people out there, very much like that town like up near Murrurundi, Wingen. There's a village up there called Wingen. That's what they're doing all the time about travelling in that one while we got Ophir Road's closed. So I think it's absolutely good news, and we need it right to the boundary because that's where the subdivisions are going to go.
Thanks, Councillor Duffy. Councillor Whitten.
Thank you, Mr.
Did you want to
Mayor.
speak on? We haven't put this yet. Did you want to speak on this?
It's a matter arising, Mr. Mayor. I thought we'd already voted. I apologise. It's a matter arising, but I'd like to just place a comment before I raise the matter arising that this is a significant outcome for Orange. As you've said, Mr. Mayor, and as Councillor Duffy has said, I think Mr. Greenham and the CEO, the RMS staff and the Minister for Regional Roads need to be congratulated because this is a great win for the ratepayers of Orange. For the state to be taking over the Northern Distributor is a significant outcome, and I hope we realise how a big win it is for this community. So congratulations to Mr. Greenham and the CEO and all involved to get it over the line.
Ask a question.
Councillor Miletto.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a question of clarification, and maybe too early to answer this question. Mr. Greenham, are you able to indicate if the state take over the Northern Distributor, when you could expect to see some improvements to that road?
So at this stage, I haven't got a definitive date on the actual date that they will take over. It has been accepted that they will be taking it over, but there's a process involved where we provide all of our asset management records for the road, any details of the structure of the road and its upgrades that's happened since it was originally built. And so there's that knowledge sharing basis. We have the same with their roads coming back that would come back to council as well. So it's not something that happens overnight. There's a process that we go through. And while that process is ongoing, we will always maintain the surface of the road. So if there's any damage that occurs during that period of time, we will continue to maintain that road as we do now.
And just one further question, if you don't mind, in regards to the road itself and work which wasn't undertaken by Orange City Council, are you able to indicate whether there is warranty on that work that was initially carried out?
I'd have to take that one on notice and ask for the specific area that you were talking of.
Towards the, I guess, southern side of the Northern Distributor, there's bad areas where it's breaking up and things. I'm just wondering whether there's warranty on that initial work undertaken, and if so, how long does that last for?
Certainly all the works that's been done under my control in the last 4 years, I'm not aware of any of that breaking up. Anything previous to that would probably be beyond statutes of limitation under the contracts.
Which would be how long normally?
Normally the statute of limitations is around 5 years.
Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Miletto. Councillor Floyd.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, just a quick one for you, Mr. Greenham. Just wanted to know, when the state takes over roads like the Northern Distributor, are they also responsible for clearing edges of roads, drainage, things like that, or does that fall back to council still?
It's different between different areas. So in the rural areas, they're responsible from fence to fence. In the urban areas, we're responsible from fog line out. So they just maintain the within the urban areas. They don't maintain the parking lanes as such.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, councillors.
Just one reminder for councillors, if someone might just address that anomaly in the recommendation by raising a amendment to include table 2 rather than table 1 for part 2 of that recommendation, please.
Mileto, can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Duffy. I'll put the amendment. Oh, sorry, Councillor Peterson, did you want to speak?
Just through you, one question, Mr. Mayor. Great news about the northern distributor. The southern distributor that's being built, educational point, is that going to be a state road or is it still under Orange for the moment? What's the process with that?
Thank you very much, and a very good question, Councillor Peterson. I did skip over it, but in that table 2 is what we're proposing as our next stage of this process. The Northern Distributor Road was considered under a special fast-tracked section of the state's considerations, and implementing that regional road transfer and road reclassification review. So the second part of that road reclassification review, and what we're asking for your support from today, is to endorse table 2. It needs to be a link through, so it needs to be a fully constructed link. We understand that this process may take a couple of years, and on that basis we're actually putting forward the section of road that we haven't built yet, because it will form the link through, so it'll extend on from Anson Street all the way through to Shirley Road at the very least, and from Shirley Road north connecting onto Woodward Street. So the Southern Feeder Road, including the first section that we've done from Mitchell Highway through to the Forest Road, which is also a regional road, will be part of it. And then the section from Forest Road through to Woodward Street, including Woodward Street through to Coronation Drive, is being nominated in that table 2 as a regional road, and that would form part of council's submission to the state.
Okay, no other speakers. So as part of the recommendation, it's the table.
We'll make that part of the motion, that correction.
Yeah, part of the motion. Yep.
Got a motion before you.
Okay, I'll put the motion. Raise your hands for in favour. Against? I'll make that unanimous.
Just a matter arising, if I may. Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Whitten, a matter arising.
Thank you for that. It might need Mr. Greenham's input on this question. I was just wondering if I, through you, Mr. Mayor, to the CEO, to the director, I'd like to get a report or an understanding of the procedural process to look at bringing a motion to council, but I'd like to get council staff to first provide the procedural aspects of it in looking at renaming the Northern Distributor after Councillor Glenn Taylor, something like the Glenn Taylor Way or the G. Taylor Way. So I'll put that through you, Mr. Mayor, to the director. I know you may need to take that on notice, Mr. Mayor.
So that's for a report to come back, Councillor Whitten.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I think it's wise we take that on notice. We'll come back with a process clarification on how that could be done.
You'll second that, Councillor Duffy?
Matter arising, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, hang on. Do I need
My matter arising is, I think at some stage...
Staff, just to be clear, that's a question or a matter arising. I've declared we will bring a report back detailing a process, so you don't need to vote on.
So a second matter arising. Councillor Duffy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My matter arising is it's an opportunity for us to invite the Deputy Premier here to our council, whether it be in a council meeting or to meet with him. I think it's absolutely fantastic. We'll be patting him on the back for this decision. He was the Minister for Regional Roads and all those things at one particular time, and he's been very supportive of the Western region. I know he's been fattening up Bathurst for quite a while. He needs to get a bit more fat up this way. So, but I think we should invite him here and have a chat to him.
I'll send a letter off. Okay, that one out of the way. We'll move on to closed meeting. The Chief Executive Officer will advise the Council if any written submissions have been received relating to any item advertised for consideration by a closed meeting of Orange City Council.
No, we have no such submissions.
With the Local Government Act 1993 and the Local Government General Regulation 2005, in the opinion of the Chief Executive Officer, the following business is of kind as referred in section 10A2 of the Act and should be dealt with in a confidential session of council meeting closed to the press and the public. The following items numbered 6.1 to 6.5 all have the same reason for confidentiality and thus being considered in closed council. And the items are:
We closed? Are we IT 7?